to it, I would say, hey, I love mangoes. I think that's really just, Philippine mangoes are just so different. You can't find that anywhere. Anyway, back to the mango tree. Spazzkid was just a name that I took on um, just very early on. I didn't really even think about it. I think during my punk days, um, I'm a big fan of this punk band called Spazz. Later on in my music journey, I was told that in some areas of the world, other English speaking countries see the word, spaz as derogatory or problematic. It's not a good word to use. And so I thought about it and I was like, well, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to, it doesn't align with me. I don't want to cause harm through, even with words. Words are powerful. And so I was like, I'm just going to change my name into my given name. So my thinking was, well, one, to address that, the problematic name. And the second would be, I want my music to shift with me as I also grow and journey, you know. So before I moved to the States, I was really, and still am, obsessed with UDD. I thought that their music really sort of like straddles the line between like experimental and pop, where they include different sort of like electronic elements to it, but also very much, I guess, easy, accessible. I've always been a fan of the different dance music styles and dance music traditions, from house and techno, drum and bass and all that stuff. But I guess, around 2019 and early 2020 was when I find myself really being attracted to much more, I guess, like there's so many different kinds and genres of house music, but I find myself going towards the much more lusher, much more lo-fi sort of like kind of sound of like house music. And so that was like a big inspiration for me. To me, it sounded very organic, it sounded very sort of like raw, which sort of remind me of like being in nature. One of my inspirations for the album, and I guess the concept of like plants and nature in my life. And so I guess I remember that time when, growing up in the Philippines, in our backyard, we have this huge ass mango tree. And, I guess for me, like as a 5-year-old, 5 or 6 years old, I would just look up in that tree and just like really, it felt like there was something there, like a sort of spirit, I guess my mom or adults around me was like, oh, there's a spirit in there, blah, 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 or trying to scare me. But then I wasn't afraid. It wasn't, I wasn't that I was scared of it, but more of like, there's a wonder and a reverence for it. And so, I would touch it and I would talk to it. It's like, please gift us mangoes, this season. And true enough, it will, very much consistently, provide a lot of mangoes for our family. I love working with Reese. She's so talented. She's so expressive. Wow, what else can I say? I mean, it's such an honor to actually have her on my track. And so I hit her up and I asked her, hey, Reese, big fan. And of course, we exchanged like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan too, and I was like, let's work together, and she's like, sure, like what do you have anything made already? And I was like, here's the melody that I'm like thinking of, what do you think? So I sent that to her, and after a couple of days she sent it back with a demo of her voice on top of it. And I was like, wow, dude, this is it, let's go.
Sun is shining, my heart is pounding.
There's nowhere left to go.